welcome, lovely folk. We are getting into the yearly reading of 2025 for the sign of Taurus here. We are going to start off with tea leaf, and then we will move into pocket animal spirit. For tarot, we have 𝕃'𝕌ℕ𝔼. I will grab a Queen of the Moon and a Moonology card. I'll possibly be clarifying with the Enchanted World Tarot as usual, and as usual as well, but a little bit differently. We will be grabbing you charms, but we'll also be grabbing you some runes. But it will be done on a yearly spread there. So let me grab the runes there. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started here. Okay, a lot of movement. So perhaps you'll have a lot of movement, a lot of different opportunities open up this year or next year, 2025. Interesting. Okay, those are not coming out. We do have a month here. Alright, this does want to come out. That as well. Okay, quite a bit. You know, I'm feeling kind of called to these. Okay. Alright, we'll do these first. So we have March and November. Okay, and we have lightning. Control your anger or you will be sorry. We have needle and thread. A sincere wish will be granted. Dragon. Beware of self-delusion. Now, interesting, I did get dragon in your meditation, so I'm going to put that here because it's obviously important. I know this past year was the year of the wood dragon, but we are moving into the year of the wood snake, I believe. So let's see, I saw a smile with like radiant, like like almost like waves of motion around it. Can't really explain that well. But so I wrote smile, radiant, motion. And then the eyes kind of reminded me of like a dragon scale, rainbow scale like eyes. And then I wrote dragon. So that's obviously important for some reason. Perhaps you'll see a dragon as well. It could be a signifier. Okay. Casket. Someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. Target. A goal-oriented person. I got know you're on target. Know you're on the right path. We have kangaroo. Unsettled times. Need to plan ahead. Boat. Money or property through an inheritance, winning or windfall. So I'm kind of getting, it's like you are on target. I think that you are on the right path. But with this unsettled times, need to plan ahead. I think unsettled, you're like worried about it and it's throwing you off a little bit. You're still on the right track. You're still on the right path. But perhaps, you know, just taking some time to pause and really look at things, really, you know, kind of anchor yourself in all of your desires. I did also get, and I am going to, because it is coming up now, I saw a stick with, it had like 3, it's almost like light stones. I don't really know how to describe it, but it had 3, at the top of the stick was like 3 stones or something, but it was like light. And with it, it kind of came that you were manifesting perhaps 3 different things. Now that could be like you need to plan and choose a direction, because those could be like 3 different directions. Or it could just be 3 separate things. Or it could be just that you are maybe in your head, and so it's hard to focus on just one thing. So yeah, something to look at there. We have dog, protection from a powerful friend. V, victory in some endeavor. Broken wishbone, wish will not be granted. So it's, I think, perhaps you're not focusing on, like, perhaps there's something you're focusing on that's not needing to be focused on. And you're being called to, like, really put yourself towards your goals. Rat, someone working against you or behind you. So you have someone working against you, but somebody working with you as well here. So, and heart, love, deep affection, and caring. Interesting, because we do have, maybe we can do this. We do have, or I was getting throughout the readings a lot about opening heart chakras within the year 2025. Like, something's gonna help really open a lot of heart chakras. And also in your meditation, I got a heart. With the heart, I also saw what was either a boot, the shape of a boot, or it might have been a feather. So, not really sure about that. Boots, I did actually just make a short about the symbolism of the boot. So perhaps you'll want to go look at that. That is in the section of symbolism in my playlists. It's the most recent one, so or it should be. Perhaps I'll do feather here soon. But boots, you know, they can be about progress, advancing. They can be about protection, being able to walk through all the terrains, all the things like life can throw at you. They can be about walking away. They could be about walking towards something. They can be about authority, power, getting your power back perhaps after a period of feeling lackluster almost. And feather, I'm actually thinking of the feather and I can't think of the film right now. It's like such a famous film. But Forrest Gump. But the feather can be about like grace, going where the wind takes you, feeling called to the wind, perhaps feeling called to write. Feather, you know, it's often associated to the swords in tarot. That's about like the mind. It can be about communication. It can be about ideas. There's, you know, a lot that can come off of that. So let's go ahead and get your animal spirit. spirit guides and angels, messages for Taurus, please. What is... Whoa. Okay. Oh man, I have to take dragon. I have to, because it feels important. I knew that was coming, and it's an eye in rainbow scales, so yeah. Alright, so we have eagle. Oh, where can I put these? Maybe we can do this. Now will they go here without covering too much? Now, I wasn't going to read the animal, but I think I am going to read dragon for you because it's made such a strong presence. I think I am going to read the dragon for you. Okay. Let's grab that. Okay, dragon. Okay, seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath, and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep into our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon breathing transformative fire into every cell of our body. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, interesting with boot. The dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their agni is dim. Agni is described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. The dragon in the third chakra. The subtle energy of the dragon lives at the navel center in the Manipura chakra. Manipura translates to the city of hidden gems, and behind its gates burns the fire of our transformation and digestion. The sages believe health of the fire at the navel center is what governs our ability to clearly see both the inner and outer dimensions. Interesting. Okay, and also I would like to note that every other animal spirit you have here is of air. So a lot of air signs, and I saw the feather. So this is a very cerebral time for you. Writing is probably going to be something that really helps you. Writing down your goals even, if even just that. But I think getting in deep with writing is going to help you a lot on your journey. Alright, so let's go ahead and get your tarot. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I will also, before your charms, grab you. I had actually, on accident, there was a flipped card that I didn't see for Aries. And it made me realize it kind of was, you know, one of those things that's like a happy accident that I definitely felt like the universe was kind of giving the wink there. of pulling a card for you for the year. But like just to overshadow for the full year. But I do want to state and note that everybody, like, there is a universal card for the year this year. Oh, what was it? It is the is it the Hermit? I'll put it up. I'm pretty sure it's okay. So 20. Yeah, it's 9, so that's the Hermit, because the year 2025 is reduces to 9, which is the Hermit. But I think, but there are also like other interpretations out there. Sometimes people pull cards on that, and but there is also that you can look up like your own. You can calculate your own card for the year as well. So you can look up calculators for that online if you feel called to, but I'm going to pull you a card for the year as well. Spirit guides and angels. Messages for Taurus for 2025. What does Taurus need to know for 2025? Let me grab that card real quick. Okay, a few cards here. And an outcome for Taurus for 2025. No. Messages for Taurus for 2025. I'm actually feeling this was for that. Outcome for Taurus for 2025. Okay, well, a couple of flippers there. Okay. Okay, so we have 3 of Wands, the Tower reversed, and Queen of Swords reversed in your significator in your beginning of the year. So this could even be like how you feel now going into the new year. And just kind of how your year starts off. So we have 3 of Wands, which is about it can be kind of like waiting, but also it's like sometimes a necessary pause to kind of gather things, like see where you're at. And it's interesting because the beginning of the year, actually very much so, is that for like, that's like an important time to do that for everyone, to like take a pause, gather, you know, figure out where you're at, where you want to go. I see that you are doing that at the beginning of this year. I mean, if you are a goal-oriented type of person, I'm sure that's something you do. We have the Tower in reverse, so there's something that's like faded that you might be resisting. There's something that makes you feel kind of chaotic. It makes you feel a sink in the pit of your stomach. Now with Dragon, I'm getting like you can strengthen that by just taking some time to meditate, to connect to that, especially focusing on your solar plexus chakra. Yeah, especially here, she's gathered, and it's like she's gathering things and holding them kind of at her stomach. So yeah, I think you're looking at your nerves in some way and really gathering yourself. And one of those things is realizing something that you've been avoiding. You're avoiding even communicating about this. This is something you try not to think about because it just feels like too much to think about. But yet it still seeps in and gets you feeling kind of detached. And so I think that's perhaps why you try not to think about it too much, because you don't want it to ultimately make you feel. But I think it's causing you to ultimately be even more detached. But when you do think about it, you feel the detachment, and so it makes you avoid even thinking about it. But this is something, obviously, if you're in this energy, you're noticing it and you're aware, you're collecting that information. And you're going to be planning on how to step away from that energy. I mean, honoring it because it's what you're feeling and it's valid. But, you know, taking what you can from it, gathering from it, to move past whatever it is that, like, you need to. And I think by doing so, by doing these actions of solar plexus healing is going to be a huge help there. Maybe even, especially if you're feeling like chaotic, I am getting also your sacral chakra, perhaps also root. So the bottom 3 chakras especially, really rooting yourself and grounding yourself. Yeah, I am even seeing that here. But yeah, so your challenge here, we have the 2 of Wands. So this is about planning. I see you're quite a free spirit, which is very beautiful. Beautiful energy. However, sometimes when you don't take some time to ground yourself, especially with all this air here, and you're a Taurus, so you are naturally gifted with being a little bit more grounded, down to earth. But when you don't take time to ground yourself, you can still get in your head, and that can really, you almost feel like you're walking on eggshells. Like you have to really look where you step. You worry a lot. But your free spirit is so beautiful, but it's like with a little bit of rooting yourself, grounding yourself, giving yourself some structure, you know, making some plans, setting boundaries with those that you perhaps need to. It's going to really help you move forward. We have Knight of Chalices. Some of you might be feeling kind of chaotic in that pit in the feeling stomach out of love. And perhaps you're scared to tell somebody how you feel. We do have like a lack of communication here. There's something you want to say, but you can't. You feel like you can't, or you just haven't brought yourself to it. There's just some kind of blockage. But the challenge is Knight of Chalices, which can be like a confession of love. We have 4 of Swords. There's definitely like some area where you feel like, I'm done, I've had enough. It's time to focus on me and heal. Some of you may feel disconnected from that free spirit that you once were. So in that regard, those who are feeling that, It's going to be about establishing balance and a time for both, getting in nature, which will also help ground you. Yeah, with this tree that is cut here, you perhaps are not wanting to share how you feel with somebody because you feel cut down to size in some way. Perhaps it doesn't have to be due to that person, it might be due to some other figure in your life. We did see someone working against you. So yeah, perhaps somebody has cut you down to size. Now know that that is them expressing their own fears and feelings, like, you know, they are feeling inadequate, and that is why they feel like they have to knock you. So not an excuse, of course. You know, do set boundaries and protect yourself from that energy. I think you are protected, but just to have some understanding of what's going on there, to give forgiveness. You know, it doesn't mean you have to accept that behavior, but forgiveness by means of like not letting it, you know, seep into your mind and your life. And understanding the human condition. So that's something you're working on throughout this year. So for some of you, it's just about communicating your feelings. Like, it doesn't have to be love. It can just be communicating how this person makes you feel. Like, if it is a figure that knocks you down. And reconnecting with your free spirit. And building yourself back up. And knowing that you're not truly knocked down. That's still within you. That free spirit, that beautiful inner self that you are. Alright, we have for your outcome 9 of Wands. We have the 3 of Swords in the reverse, so you are healing from this. It's close. By the end of the year, the cycle is close to ending. There's still some more room to grow, but it is close to ending, and you've definitely healed a lot throughout 2025. You'll have healed a lot. And we have 8 of Cups, 8 of Chalices, 8 of Cups. That is, I think it's that you're walking away from the situation and it's no longer having an effect on you. So it's like when you feel the overwhelm from the situation, you walk away from it. You don't accept that behavior and you walk away from it. You're giving yourself the self-respect that perhaps they aren't giving you, and you're creating those boundaries. So that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's an act of self-love, truly, and healing. So you are healing through this. This year is a very empowering year. I see you're very much so awakening that inner fire, getting empowered, especially with eagle as well, firefly as well. And firefly also is like, can be a guiding light. Also, I'm getting like, there's so much about writing. Writing's gonna really help you get in tune with yourself and help you get things out on paper so that they don't burst out. It helps you handle the situation better. Yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead and get your moon Queen of the Moon Oracle. Spirit guides and angels, messages for Taurus for 2025. Messages for Taurus for 2025. Okay, so we have protection. So know you're protected through this. You're protected from this person that might knock you down. You're being guided through it. You're definitely being guided on how to take the high road, how to handle it well, how to grow from it and not just actually be knocked down by it. You're definitely, you do have support, even if you don't feel like it, you are supported. You know, this can be from ancestors, your guides. There could be people around you. You could also like seek out support too, if you feel called to, if you feel the need to. You know, find a guidance counselor or a therapist or a good friend. Alright, spirit guides and angels. Messages for Taurus, please, for the year 2025. Oh wow, that's quite a bit. So I want to first state this was 24 for protection as well, and a waning crescent. So these could, you know, the waning crescent could have importance. We'll see if that comes up again. And all of these cards, they can be time periods, they can be about the message that they have. You know, there's different things that it could be in these cases. So new moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. So it could be about the new moon in Virgo. Now new moons tend to be in the sign that they're in, so be Virgo season, and full moons are in the opposite sign that it is at the moment. So like the opposite season that we're in. So this would be Virgo season, could have importance. We have conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse. And I did see, you know, by the end of the year, you're so close to concluding this cycle. 9 of Wands is like almost the 10 of Wands, which is completion. We have nothing will come of the situation, void of course moon. So if you're worrying about this too much, you know, try to step out of that. Grounding will really help. Meditation will really help, because you don't want to worry. There's a beautiful quote from a film, and it might be a show. It's that worrying is like, is it Fantastic Beasts? And it's about how, I forget that, I'm gonna butcher it. It's like such a great quote about worrying is like thinking twice, is like something is worrying twice. Like if you overthink something and you're worried about it, you know, it's causing like pain more than it needs to. Emotions are running high, supermoon. So again, these can be about the time period, whenever a supermoon might be, whenever the full moon eclipse might be, or they can be about this message, emotions are running high, which I do see that very much so can be with the 9 of Wands there. The energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. Don't let your past hold you back, South Node. It's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. And with don't let your past hold you back, it's time to release negativity. Those definitely feel like they came together for a reason. And it's very much so about like, don't let this person take your power back. Don't let them have that effect on you. You know, let them be in the space they're in and focus on you. And don't let them take up any mental space of yours. You know, release that. And what do you need to release? Well, there we go. Waning moon. And we did have the waning moon, the waning crescent with protection there. So again, know you're protected through this. But it is time to release that. Release these like emotions attached to this person. You know, give them the space. Understand the human condition. Give them the space to be where they're at on their journey. And just focus on your journey. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave this here. I will see you on the other side to get your charms and your runes. Alright, hello and welcome, lovely folk. So now we will pull your charms and your runes. And your card for the year is the 10 of Swords in the reverse. So what I got from this is that this is rising above. This is about improving your life. You know, knowing that you can survive anything. Knowing that the worst is over. And that you're capable of moving through anything. Alright, so we'll put this in the middle here and get the runes first. You know, these will be considered the middle there. Okay. You know what, let's go ahead and read the runes real quick first. So, in Libra season, we have Aiwass. You, the journey of the dead. The yew was first of all Odin's tree. He collected the souls of the dead before the journey to the underworld. This rune symbolizes, therefore, death, or changes, and breaking with old habits. It doesn't have to be negative, but can signify that the asking person is approaching their goal in a successful way. So interesting, very on theme. So there's going to be probably a big shift in Libra season that you're going to see. I feel like it's kind of about seeing the fruits of that you have been working on things and you have risen above and things are changing, things are shifting. And that there is success there. Alright, so you can't see this quite, but we have here, you will have to bear with me with the runes as I'm still learning them. But this is for like yearly energy since it landed in the middle. And we have Dagas, day, rousing. Dagas symbolizes culmination and can symbolize spiritual advancement, possibly a form of transition at great benefit for the asking person. At its best, this rune establishes that the darkness is over. Wow, very still on theme, especially with your tarot card of the year. Light results and prosperity are secured. So know the worst part has passed and you're creating a better future for yourself now. and it's all having to do with this like inner spiritual work. This may seem fatalistic, but 𝕃'𝕌ℕ𝔼 says that we must seize the opportunity or else it will pass, warning against indifference and encouraging to a certain point. Okay, hello. So it did cut off there, and I came back now after that I saw where it cut off to finish what I was reading for you, because it was important. So the last part where I left off, it said, warning against indifferences and encourage is us to a certain portion of meditation. So again, meditation is highly important here. Apologies for my dog there. But yes, and then lastly we had Isa. And it says frustration and obstacles. Oh, and I want to note, I did note, one second. Okay. And so I want to note because Isa was flipped. So I'm feeling like it's something you are working through. And it was in the yearly area, like throughout the whole year. This is something you perhaps work your way through. So yes, frustrations and obstacles that only patience can resist. So again, more about meditation too, because that'll help your tolerance, help your resistance, and help you have patience with those frustrations that you might have. A connection to the thought of ice and cold between humans, especially in the family. The asking person is maybe in a situation which prevents them from acting, or they may not be aware of what is going on. They should stay calm until the sun breaks through and the thaw comes. It can bring new emotions and perspectives. Okay, so yeah, and I had gotten that the perspectives is important. The meditation is like strongly coming through, grounding, even journaling. All right, but I will meet you back there to finish up the charms. Okay, sorry about that. That just cut off. I don't know. I had enough space, so I don't know why it just cut off there. But anyways, hopefully everything was gathered with the runes there. But so let's move on to your charms. That 2 charms fell outside of the ring, and they were this ice cream, which I'm getting like melting away, things of the past, not letting things phase you, kind of like the ice, but in reverse, letting things melt away. We have the 𝕃'𝕌ℕ𝔼. It's like a cigar case topper, or like tube topper or whatever. I actually found this outside and saw it, and it has a little lyre on it, and so that was why I thought I grabbed it and felt like it should be a charm. The lyre can be about I always think of the lyre as like the heart, so like your heart song. So really connecting and getting in tune with yourself and not letting other people come in and affect that. We have the spring, so this year is going to really be about springing forward. We have the computer or fuse here. It's a car fuse, which that can be about, well, I'm actually getting, interesting, I'm getting with it, for one, not to have a short fuse, but to use any anger, any, strong emotions to propel you forward, but not in a way where you get caught in your head, but, you check your fuel, make sure it's not, gonna get you in your head, or, if it's not good fuel for you, switch out, trade up your fuel. But you know, you have to put the fuses in for the electricity and stuff to work in your car, for it to move, for it to go. So, you know, take any of that passion and push it, let it push you forward with drive. We have this hand, and it says handmade. So perhaps you're getting crafty. We have high, so perhaps you'll meet somebody this year. Or it could also be about getting clear in your communication, because this is a cloud, and it's red, like almost like a cloud of anger. So it could be about expressing your emotions and learning how to do that this year. We have, and I'm getting writing again with this handmade. And we have a crystal, so yeah, getting clear. Very much so getting clear with your communication. All right, and the skirt here, which I both will take towards the season that it's in, but also these can be about moon phases as well. So they could be themed like within the moon phase of every month. So let's see, we have a cactus here. It's kind of like a popsicle. So like, be careful about being sharp with your tongue. This is near the moon shedding phase, the start of it. It's not quite the last quarter. Perhaps for some of the feminine people out there that have their menstruation, there could, perhaps that could tie into it. Perhaps you need to be careful around that time. Maybe writing especially is helpful at that time, so that you can get it out without bursting out, having a sharp tongue with it. But this can also go towards Aquarius season, and Aquarius season also has this headphone, so it does make me feel like it's both. So also just around Aquarius season, be mindful of a sharp tongue. Try to listen rather than if pouring out your emotion, pour them out onto paper and then listen. Be listening and observing when communication comes up. We have the mushroom here. There's growth in the dark. Also about gaining new perspectives. Yeah, I see you definitely getting some new perspectives, perhaps because you listen and watch how you approach this. It's going to give you some kind of different perspective on the matter. Okay, during Taurus season, your season, so around your birthday, we have the 3 on the die. Now that could be, you know, of any suit. It could be like the 3 of Cups, the 3 of Wands. You did see the 3 of Wands in your reading. It could be the 3 of Swords, which was at the end of your reading, that you're getting past your healing, getting past some heartache. It could be the 3 of what's the last one? I said Swords, Hearts, Wands, or Pentacles. So that could be like the 3 I saw on the wand, which was about like 3 opportunities, manifesting 3 different things. So there could be 3 opportunities that come to you by a Taurus season. Three different passions. Alright, we have the chalice here. Now this was on the skirt again, which is, so it could be close to the new moon. Be mindful about not over consuming. Usually that's during the full moon people can start to consume more, but I mean, it can happen whenever. But perhaps around the new moon, you're really looking at your consumption. It can be in any means. It doesn't have to be alcohol. It can be, you know, what you're reading. It can be what you're watching. It can be what you're eating. Anything you consume in any way. Even things you put on your skin. Like, consumption comes in many forms. So you might be looking at that. But it also can be about Gemini. You could be celebrating something in Gemini. Like a cup of cheers. So around Gemini season, there's something you could be celebrating. Could also be about self-care, self-love, or even we did see the Knight of Chalices. So it could be a communication about love here. There could be a confession of love that goes on in Gemini season. Alright, we have the star here. It could be both Libra or the first moon, the first quarter of the moon. It's a glow-in-the-dark star. So shining even when you feel knocked. Knowing, you know, not letting anybody take your power is what I'm getting from this. Healing from that and not letting it get to you that they, you know, act out that way. Knowing that it stems from them and has nothing to do with you. And that you're going to allow yourself to shine anyway, through any terrain. And this can be, again, around the first quarter of every moon, that you realize this, you really put emphasis on this, but also around Libra season. And we have the octopus here with a crown on it. So definitely getting in tune with your emotions. This reminds me of the Queen of Cups. So I think you're going to get very empowered because you're going to be working through your emotions in a way that's very healthy. So very beautiful energy. I hope you have the most beautiful 2025. Until next time, lovely folk.